my sunshines. Thank you very much for tuning in to Life of Sunshine on Wheels. Of course, it's your girl Shana, and I'm here with another video. Now, if you missed last week's episode, I was talking about my experience with having caregivers. Now, this will be part 2 to this My Experience series with the caregivers. Now, if you haven't done so, please make sure you like, subscribe, share, tell a friend to what? Tell a friend. All right, let's get into it. And just in case if you missed last week's show, check it out. All right, so this time around, I will be talking about my experience with 3 different caregivers, right? And I'm going to sum this video up in one about the 3 different caregivers because this category kind of meshed together. All right, so my 3 caregivers I had, you all will not believe it. Now, once again, before I state my experience with my caregivers, I want to say, you all, please, let's continue to pray for the caregivers that do their job and love what they do and care for us and make sure that we are okay and to help us in the areas that we need to help the most. Please continue to pray for them that things will change, well, they will receive benefits as well as more pay and pay holidays off. Let's pray for those things for the caregivers because they do need a change. And not all caregivers are the same. Not all caregivers are bad. Not all caregivers don't care about their job. There are still caregivers out here that love what they do and care for us and give us the utmost respect. And I just want to let those caregivers know that your work is not going unnoticed. We thank you for your services. We appreciate you, and we do pray that things will change. Now, let's get into it. These 3 caregivers that I had, please, you all, some, you know how you have to laugh or smile to keep from crying? This type of situation. Okay, so I had these 3 caregivers, and let me tell you, this is my experience. You may not have experienced this. I had one caregiver that was an alcoholic, and the other 2 caregivers were on drugs. I'm not giving any names because I still want to respect their privacy. Okay, now I want to share with you all about the caregiver that was an alcoholic. This lady, she came to work pissy drunk. And when I say pissy drunk, literally she was pissy drunk. And let me tell you, it's sad. It's so sad. I understand being a caregiver. I can't say I understand, but I do know that the job isn't easy. I do get that. And I understand sometimes you may do things to help relieve you of that stress and things like that. But to come to your client's home and you be pissy drunk, not 1 time, not 2 times, but 3 times to be pissy drunk, let me tell you all, it was something. She was a good caregiver. I mean, she did her job. She came, she helped clean. Every task that I needed completed, she was able to do. But she came to work drunk. And what made it so bad is that the bottle that she would carry around with her had alcohol in it. Now, mind you, this woman was driving. She wasn't driving me. She was driving herself to my home. So she was a drunk driver. And one day she was here at work, and the woman said she peed on herself in my driveway. And she didn't have a change of clothes. She didn't want to go back home to change her clothes because she was already at my home. And I think we may have lived maybe 30 minutes away from each other. So she didn't want to go home and change her clothes. She got to my driveway, got out the car, and peed on herself. And she stated that she didn't want to go home. Okay, didn't have a change of clothes. So not only was you could smell the alcohol on her, her clothes were wet. Her scrubs were pink and they were wet. Urine. The woman took off of her shoes and socks because they were wet from the urine, and she came in my home with flip-flops on. glassy, red eyes, speech slurred, name it, she did it. Okay, and like I say, I believe in giving people second chances. Let's try this again. Came in here again, drunk, went to sleep, snoring loud. The third straw that broke the camel's back was when I was receiving my treatment. And if you all are wondering, what do you mean treatment? I receive a treatment called IVIG. It's antibodies. My body no longer makes its own antibodies to fight off infections, so that medication does it. So my nurse was here giving me my treatment. Once again, she came here drunk. She was here doing her job somewhat drunk, like I said. So as the time went on, she said, well, I'm going to go sit in the car and take a break. Okay, she's in her car. Mind you, my nurse is here giving me my treatment. The next thing we hear is somebody laying on the horn. Beep, nonstop. We didn't know who it was. And I'm thinking maybe somebody's beeping the horn, waiting for someone to come out, maybe a next door neighbor or something. No, it was the caregiver in the driveway, in the car, sleep, laying on the steering wheel, blowing the horn. We had a neighbor that lived behind the house to come and knock on the door to let us know. Let me tell you all something. So my nurse that was here giving me the treatment, he let me know that he had to report it because, of course, he was here at that time and he saw what was going on. And he said, Shana, I have to report this because this is not right. If she's coming to your home and she's intoxicated, how can she care for you? And how is she able to drive? You and I wanted to know the same thing. So not only did the nurse file a complaint, I also done the same, and she's no longer able to work in the field because of that situation. You all, when I tell you these caregivers I've had, some of the things I've seen, some of the things I've heard, it leaves me with my mouth wide open like, what? I can't believe it, and trust me, I've seen it. Like I said, I've seen it all. So we have the alcoholic caregiver. And she did explain like all the issues she was going through at home, not being able to work, not able to find a job. But I guess she took on alcohol to cope with the issues that she was going through. And I tell you, it's very, very sad. And she was a good caregiver. She just drunk. Came to work drunk. Laid on horn. Drunk. So that was the end of that caregiver. Then we had the two caregivers that used drugs. Now, the one caregiver that used drugs, this girl could work. She did an amazing job. And what I liked about her, now, you all may not know, or you may know that I need help with getting out of seated positions. So if I'm in my chair and to get into in my bathroom, my wheelchair can't fit all the way in the bathroom. So you have to stand me up and you have to walk me to get inside of the shower. So if my son's not here or if my daughter's not here to do it, most caregivers can't do it because they have to stand me up. And then if we use the Hoyer lift, we can't get the Hoyer lift through into the bathroom because it's so long and things like that. So let me tell you all something. This caregiver did not need any help from my son, did not need any help from my daughter. She was able to get me in the bathroom, out of my wheelchair, get me onto the shower chair, give me my shower, dry me off, get me out of the shower chair and back into my chair with no help. I swear this woman was Superwoman. She has some type of strength that no man could match at this point. And so I noticed with her, she would leave, maybe for her break, she would leave in 30 minutes, come back. God, This woman was different between night and day. She'll come to work. She'll do her job. I'm telling you, she will be good. She's good at what she does. She will come to work. She will do every task and even more than what is required of her. She would do. She didn't need any help from anyone to help with me. She was able to do it herself, and she was willing to do it and didn't have a problem with doing it. And her and I got along so well. But when she came back after that break, that girl was going through here like a Tasmanian devil. Speedy Gonzalez. Pew, 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 pew. Speed lightning. It may be hot outside, but it's not hot in the house. And she's sweating. Eyes wide open, they not closed and they not blinking, and she would talk non-stop. When she come in, she not talking much, but after she go for her break and come back, that girl could go. Miss Shana this, Miss Shana that. Well, did you know this, Miss Shana? Did you know that, Miss Shana? Well, Miss Shana this, Shana that, Shana. You want me to do this? You want me to do that? I can do this, I can do that. Well, that's not a part of your job description. That's okay, don't worry about it. I can do it. Yeah. That tongue would wag and it would not stop. And she would not stop. She would try and find something to do. Even the first part of the shift, she done vacuumed the floor, made the bed. I tell you, you could bounce a quarter off the bed after she done made it. Wash clothes, fold laundry up, try to find more clothes to wash, and fold up. And I'm like, well, you done already did everything the first time around. She's back again looking for more things to do, and she done already done it all. And she would keep on going. And at that point, y'all, I'm not gonna lie to you, I would just sit there and be like, phew, I'm exhausted listening to you. But I love the work that she did. I'm not complaining. She was amazing. But she come one way, and when she come back, oh my God, girlfriend wouldn't stop. And I'm like, golly, you can't have one without the other. You'll get a good caregiver in one area, and then they may lack in another area. And I tell you, I just shook my head. I loved her to death. She did her job. I just shook my head. And every time she would go, and when that mouth would move, I would go that way. I look, and she'll be going. She'll be going, and I'll go along with it because she was a sweetheart. She did her job, and she cared. It's just that she had other issues. Now, on to the third caregiver, and the last caregiver for today. Another one that used drugs. And the sad part about it, she was an excellent caregiver. Another one that was an excellent caregiver. She may not been able to stand me up, but she didn't have no problem with rolling me, putting me in that Hoyer lift. She made sure that I was clean. She made sure that when I dressed to go out, that I looked decent. She did everything. And she was even willing to learn to cook, for me to help her to cook. And the sad part about it is that, when some people have those, I guess, demons, or they may be dealing with issues in their life, and they turn to other things like substances to try to cope with what they're dealing with. She was another one. She did a good job. She was caring, understanding, loving, went out her way to help me in any way that she could. But she had those demons as well, and it was drugs. And the one thing that messed her up is, of course, I'm getting my treatment. And the nurse is here. And I'm calling her, to let her know I have to use the bathroom. She's laying right in my recliner chair, sitting beside me. She did not wake up. Well, she's sleeping. I'm calling her. She did not wake up. So the nurse that was giving me the treatment, she had to stand up and yell her name. And she finally got up. And my nurse said, I was getting ready to come check your pulse because you wasn't answering, Shana. And I thought maybe something was wrong. And she caught offense to the nurse for saying that. But the nurse had every right to. I'm calling you. You're here to do a job. And you do your job very well. It's just this time that I need you the most to help me. You're not answering me, and you're right in the room with me. So that was a frustration. It made me frustrated, and then I had to report that. and that nurse had to report it. But what I do like about that caregiver is she was honest with the agency, and she told them the truth. And she told them that, yes, I had been taking something and it caused me to sleep and things like that. So she was honest with the agency. But of course, they had to let her go because of the drug usage. So let me tell you all, I have stories for days about caregivers. And once again, I do understand the importance for us to have the caregivers that we need, because those caregivers help us be independent. They help us to do the things that we're not able to do. And sometimes it's hard. You don't want to say anything because they may be good in one area, but if you're not careful, they may not be good in the other area. And I know you like, well, the good outweigh the bad. Yes, in some cases, yes. But when it's pertaining to your health and your care, no, you got to be careful, because you never know what may happen in a situation like that. What if my nurse wasn't here and my children weren't home and she's on the clock to be paid, and I'm calling and yelling your name and you're not answering me? So what do I supposed to do in that situation? I'm stuck. I'm lost, because you're here to help me in certain areas, but I don't have you because you're not answering me. So we can't ignore those signs, you all. So if you have a caregiver that's good in one area but maybe lacking in the other, please say something. And if what you're saying to them is not getting through, contact your agency, and you go from there with the steps you need to get the proper caregiver that you need that will help you. So I want to tell you all, thank you very much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and tell a friend too. Tell a friend. You all be blessed. You all be safe. You all have a great week, and I'll be back with another one. Bye.